Hello, welcome to today's lesson on line graphs. Hi Turbo Girl, how many types of graphs have you learned so far?
Picture graph, bar graph. I think 2 types.
So, what do you understand about graphs?
Well, we use graphs to represent information that we record, which is known as data.
That's right. A picture graph shows data in the form of pictures. A bar graph uses bars to represent data which is shown on the x and y axis. Today, I am going to introduce another type of graph to you. It is called a line graph.
You mean a graph full of lines?
You are partially right. A line graph shows data which is collected over a period of time. It also shows the data changes at regular intervals. From a line graph, we can see the increase and decrease in the data from time to time. Such as in this line graph, the temperature changes from day to day.
How do we draw line graphs?
It's very simple. A line graph can be obtained from a bar graph using the same set of data. We have this bar graph that shows the changes in temperature for 5 days. By marking the midpoints at the top of each bar and then join the points together, we have formed a line graph. Turbo Girl, look at this graph. What does this graph show?
I think this graph shows the daily changes in temperature.
You are right. The x-axis represents the days from Monday to Friday. The y-axis represents the temperature in degrees Celsius. Now, look at the y-axis on the graph. It ranges from 0 to 35. There are 5 units between 0 and 5. Likewise, there are 5 units between 15 and 20. So 1 unit represents 1 degree Celsius on the y-axis. So, what is the temperature on Monday?
I look for Monday on the x-axis, then I move up to the dot on the line graph. Then I move towards my left to look for its corresponding y-axis value. Thus, the temperature is 28 degrees Celsius.
What is the temperature on Tuesday?
The temperature is 32 degrees Celsius.
Good! The temperature on Tuesday is higher than that on Monday. Can you tell me the difference in temperature between Monday and Tuesday?
The difference in temperature is 32 degrees Celsius minus 28 degrees Celsius, which is equals to 4 degrees Celsius. The temperature rose by 4 degrees Celsius from Monday to Tuesday.
When did the temperature drop by 2 degrees in one day?
Looking at the graph, there are 2 days when the temperature dropped, for example, from Tuesday to Wednesday and from Wednesday to Thursday. The temperature on Tuesday is 32 degrees Celsius, and the temperature on Wednesday is 30 degrees Celsius. Thus, the temperature dropped from 32 degrees Celsius minus 30 degrees Celsius, which is equals to 2 degrees Celsius from Tuesday to Wednesday. The temperature on Wednesday is 30 degrees Celsius, and the temperature on Thursday is 27 degrees Celsius. Thus, the temperature dropped from 30 degrees Celsius minus 27 degrees Celsius, which is equals to 3 degrees Celsius from Wednesday to Thursday. Therefore, to answer the question, the temperature dropped by 2 degrees Celsius from Tuesday to Wednesday.
Well done! Let us look at another graph. This graph shows the amount of money spent over a 5-year period. Turbo Girl, can you tell me what do the x and y axis represent?
The x-axis represents the years from 1990 to 1994. The y-axis represents the amount of money in dollars spent.
Which year has the highest spending?
From the graph, I can see that the spending is highest in 1993, which is $20,000.
Good! Now that you have learned how to read the graph, let us look at another line graph that shows the relationship between two quantities. Given a value of one quantity, we can find an equivalent value of the other quantity from the graph. Let me show you an example. This graph shows the number of Hong Kong dollars that can be exchanged for 1 Singapore dollar in a certain year. Turbo Girl, can you tell me what do the X and Y axis represent?
The x-axis represents the Singapore dollars and the y-axis represents the Hong Kong dollars.
So, if I have 1 Singapore dollar, how much Hong Kong dollars can I exchange for it?
I look for 1 Singapore dollar on the x-axis and I move up to the dot on the line graph. Then, I look for its corresponding y-axis value. So, 1 Singapore dollar can be exchanged for 4 Hong Kong dollars.
How much Singapore dollar can I exchange for 12 Hong Kong dollars?
I look for 12 Hong Kong dollars on the y-axis, then I move to my right to the dot on the line graph. Then, I look for its corresponding x-axis value. So, 12 Hong Kong dollars can be exchanged for 3 Singapore dollars.
Turbo Girl, we can now solve problems using information presented in line graphs. The graph below shows the time taken by 5 pupils to run a race. What is the difference in time taken by Mark and Ali? Before you start doing, you need to read the graph and write the data by the points to help you in understanding the data.
Wow, that definitely helps me a lot. Mark's time is 68 seconds and Ali's time is 60 seconds. Therefore, the difference in the time taken is 68 minus 60, which is equals to 8 seconds. The difference in time taken is 8 seconds.
Good. Find the average time taken by the 5 boys.
First, I find the total time taken by the 5 boys. 63 plus 60 plus 66 plus 59 plus 68, which is equals to 316 seconds. Next, I find the average time taken. Average equals to 316 divided by 5, which is equals to 63.2 seconds. The average time taken is 63.2 seconds.
Well done! Can you solve the next problem? The graph below shows the number of tourists in Singapore over a 5-month period. Find the total number of tourists in Singapore from January to May.
The total number of tourists is 4,000 plus 2,500 plus 2,000 plus 3,500 plus 2,500, which is equals to 14,500. There are 14,500 tourists in Singapore from January to May.
What is the average number of tourists per month?
Average equals to 14,500 divided by 5, which is equals to 2,900. The average number of tourists is 2,900 per month.
Well done, Turbo Girl. So, what have you learned today?
I have learned that a line graph displays data which is collected over a period of time. It also shows how the data changes at regular intervals. From a line graph, we can see the increase and decrease of data from time to time. Given the information on the x-axis, I will know the corresponding y-axis value by first locating the given data on the x-axis. Then, I move up to the dot on the line graph. Next, I move towards my left to look for its corresponding y-axis value.
Very good. See you at the next lesson.